All right, today on the Bib Track Training Diaries, we're going to be hitting a strength session. Just running you through the strength work that I've been doing and following for years, but have changed a little bit recently for moving into the ultra space. Hit double run club this morning, so 7Ks in the legs, super easy, and then here with Jack, and we're going to get cracking on our strength session now. So we're going to start off with some dumbbell step-ups. We'll just do a warm-up set, body weight first, but we always start these strength movements with like a single leg compound movement. We're going to be hitting quads and glutes that way. So let's just step up with that knee drive, a little pause, squeezing quads, squeezing glute, focusing on that stability at the hips and then also at the ankle there as well. We're going to load it up pretty heavy. Start just body weight as a warm up and then get into it. See where we're at today. This is like day one of the new block of introducing this movement, just trying to get a little bit more strength in climbing on the hills when we're out on the bib. And the point of going really heavy with these instead of going for a lot of reps with lightweight, we want to go really heavy so that our rate of force production goes up. So for my body weight, if I can be really strong, then every step that I take uphill on the bib is going to be that, percentage point easier the stronger I get at something like this movement. So yeah, this will be movement one, and we'll get cracking. The main thing to focus on with these movements, if you watch like the knee there, we don't want it to be caving in too much. If you can stay strong, stay out, that means we're going to be more stable at the hip and it's controlling that femur a bit better.
I've been employed as a medic, so I come in there to strap up some ankles and give out some band-aids. And then just support crew really. Handing out gels, whatever Macka needs.
I feel like the camera's going to hold us accountable and not taking ginormous rest.
We met over in America. Both had a nice college experience over there playing soccer. Little old Aberdeen, South Dakota. But met over there over in the States and became close friends, teammates, co-captains, and went on from there on to bigger and better things.
Average, and we met at college in the US way back. So we've been like training together now since 2014?
Yeah.
I think you barely gymmed back then either, right?
Barely touched the weights, yeah. Just focused on soccer really back in the day. Yeah, you can't keep me away from them.
Now Jack lifts a lot more than I do now, but what's that, like 10 years worth of training together, so pretty sick.
How do you think he's going to go for bib track?
Oh, he's going to nail it. As you can see, he's putting in the work, really thinking about the process as well, not just going into it blind. Full confidence that he's going to smash it.
Yeah, usually just do 3 sets of each movement, pretty heavy on everything at the moment. Today's meant to be like an easy day, like I do the easy jog in the morning, but it's kind of just the most convenient time for me to fit the gym in. Usually I'd want an easy day to be super easy, but it's kind of easy jog in the morning, gym straight after. So like we're going to be done at 9 a.m. and then the rest of the day off. I might jog tonight this week just because I got time, but usually from 9 a.m. on a Wednesday until like 3 or 4 p.m. on a Thursday is like my biggest rest of the week at the moment. So it's kind of okay that I go pretty heavy in this session. Then I'll do a second session on Friday evenings, which is that strategy of like keeping the hard days hard. That's my longest like trail run of the week. I'll get out for 3 or 4 hours, and then in the evenings, I'll come back in here, and it's about 45 minutes and more like full body. So hit the legs again, but some core work, some plyos as well, which we don't do in this session, and then just some general upper body and mobility as well. So good to hit the strength twice a week at the moment, and then that big trail run is also getting a fair bit of vert, so there's a bit of strength in the legs there too.
You're preparing for with Macka?
The worst case scenario. Probably a snake bite, really.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that'll slow him down, to be honest. And being out in the bush, there is the potential for that, but we'll be ready if it happens.
80% of snake bites are dry bites though, so I should be safe. That's my theory.
Medic says no.
If I get bitten, it's a 4 in 5 chance that it wasn't venomous. Alright, next up, so we're going to hit a Romanian deadlift. This movement we're training like that high-end hamstring, so at the hip end, we're moving through a hinge pattern. First movement we've gone like quads and glutes on that lunge pattern essentially on a step up for a bit of training for the vert. This one, we're hitting hamstrings and glutes, so still a compound movement, but slightly different. One, like mechanism of stress, and two, like area of the body, like, and doing a hinge versus a lunge. Functional movement patterns, I think, are really important, especially when you're doing a functional sport like running. So the remaining deadlift, the goal is essentially to get a big stretch in those hamstrings. So soft knees, and then we're pushing that butt back, keeping the weight nice and close. We hit that peak tension point in the hamstrings, and then it's a drive with the hips. We're not really dropping into, you could do a glute variation where you bend the knees a little bit more, but we're going to be focusing on that hamstring and that hinge and that hip drive there. I found running uphill is definitely more quads, but some of those climbs when they're really big and you end up having to walk, you end up, my hamstrings just end up fried from that, which I assume is usually just pulling yourself along a little bit more in that like stride uphill versus like a run uphill. We'll go 70. Put it on show. Oh, fuck. So making sure I always hit the compound into the like a hamstring or a hinge pattern anyway, but going pretty heavy on this still just to make sure that I'm not going to get any issues there. Pretty comfortable with this movement, do it a lot, so go, what did we do last week, sixes? Yeah, sixes with like a deep stretch. And then if you do these, you want to get overhand grip for as long as you can, it's good to build that grip strength, but once it gets heavy I always go switch grip, so if you haven't done that, just one hand facing the opposite way, that's going to like twist it in with that other hand there and get it nice and locked instead of having to go to straps straight away. This way I can at least go still hands free even once it gets that little bit heavier. And I like a pretty narrow foot position on this so I get a lot of length out of the hamstrings. On this we're hitting that high hamstring movement, but we'll kind of alternate. So on this block we're doing a lot of the RDLs, so high hamstring. Obviously we just moved to those step ups today. We've been doing a different compound, but eventually we'd switch this one out to go low hamstring. I can't remember which one. There's one of the hamstrings passes the knee and some of them don't. So it's like we need to hit the hamstring end that passes the knee, we need to hit the hamstring end that passes the hip joint. This obviously we're hitting more at the hip end, but like a seated leg curl or a hamstring bridge or something that controls that knee flexion is going to be important as well. So we'll kind of alternate this with one of those movements maybe every 6 to 8 weeks. I'm feeling really good with this at the moment, so we've kind of kept it in twice. I just enjoy the RDL pattern, but the other one is good to keep in. And if I just get sore off a training week, the hamstring bridge is an easy one. You can just do from home with your foot on the side of a chair or on the side of the bed. So it's easy to add that in if you're feeling any strain, typically either down that side or down that side of the hamstring. You can just do that hamstring bridge, do some holds, 30 seconds, and it'll work on that pretty quickly for you.
Have you accompanied Macka or anything other than just this big track thing?
Accompanied him on me. Have I, Macka?
You brought me off a few times.
Yeah. I've been the taxi service.
Picked me up with
Yep. There was one on the bib track with Cam, with Bostock. Shout out Cam Bostock. Went and picked you lads up with Carly.
Yeah, that was good, out in the middle of nowhere.
Outside of soccer stuff, this will be the first opportunity to really get stuck in. And works pretty well in between. It's on my uni break in the middle of semester as well, so can commit the time to go out there and have a bit of fun and support him on the way through.
I guess you saw me you come by at Herdies as well when I was in the Herd locker a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Stressing.
Since Delirious, definitely just been hitting way more Ks. like every run now has a purpose essentially. So on my easy days where I used to go out for an easy jog, it'd just be like, all right, we're in zone 2, get your hour done, whatever. Now it's like, how can I make those like recovery days like specific to recovery? So essentially there's like 4 key days for the week. Like I've got a day where I'll hit my intervals, so like that higher end VO2 max work. Another day where I do a treadmill threshold session, so it's like still working, still hitting some pace, but heart rate would be like 160s versus VO2 max would be 170, 180. The third big run of the week will be my like trail long run. So I'll go out for like, last week was just under 4 hours, and that's like, all right, can we get a lot of vert? Can we get a lot of carbs in, like practice the fueling, and then also just being on trails, getting used to the trail, recce the trail so I know what I'm getting into. That's like key run number 3, and then the 4th one is like a high-end VO2 max, so it's another long run, but it's on flat. I can just kind of lock in pace, lock in on heart rate. On Sunday, I was just trying to hold bang on 150 heart rate for the whole 3 hours essentially, and yeah, I looked at the graph after, it was basically like perfect. So they're like the 4 key runs, and then the other days, like the recovery days, I'm running so much easier, like 6-minute pace, 5:30 pace, things that I wouldn't have ever run at the start of the year in delirious prep, but it means I can run twice on those days for an hour, super low intensity, pull up super fresh, but also I'm banking that 20, that 30 Ks on the easy days as well. And yeah, just pulling up so good from it, and it lets me hit that big run on the other days as well. Oh yeah. And then yeah, the strength has changed a little bit as well. So like I mentioned, hitting more quads for the climbing. I don't think I was doing that enough before. I kind of have my system of strength that I do, but there's movements that I like more. So it's like they just naturally find their way into my program more often because I enjoy doing them. I think I was hitting a lot more glute and ham at the start of the year, whereas now I've got a bit more of an even split on quads. Probably maybe even a little bit less glute, but more quads for sure. Similar glutes and similar hamstrings. So. All right, Jack's just finishing last set of the RDLs now. Moving into the next movement. The third movement of my strength program, I'll shuffle in and out on specific movements. Like it used to be hit that compound, hit that hinge, and then it might be the bridge or the knee flexion movement. I've kind of changed that recently of just like, I'm gonna hit what I feel I need to work on at the time. So say, yeah, my low end hamstring is sore, I'll do that bridge, that hamstring bridge, or I'll do that knee flexion movement. Or if my lateral glutes are feeling sore, same thing, I might do some more lateral glute work. The thing that I've been hitting recently, common theme on like that first movement there, we were working on that hip stability at the top. We were doing Cossack squats recently at that top movement, so again, lateral glute. Now, the next movement we're gonna do is the cable knee drive. So it's essentially, against resistance, driving that knee up, working on those hip flexors. It's something I never really focused a lot of attention on before, but when I first did Herdy's Backyard Ultra, so you do a 6.7K loop every hour on the hour. Once I passed, I think 160 Ks, just that act of like lifting the leg for the next step was super fatiguing. And I ended up like, it blew up pretty bad. Like I was pretty cooked for a good few days afterwards just because of that hip flexor. So I've put a lot of work into doing these cable knee drives or some banded mountain climbers, things like that are going to work on those hip flexors, even like L sits, working more on like the lower abdominals as well, just so this whole area, glutes at the back, hip flexors at the front, lower abdominals, everything's significantly stronger now. So if the core is strong and stable when you're landing off balance on the trail, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with that. So yeah, we've been doing these pretty heavy, just set with the ankle cuff on a low cable. We want some stability on this. We've done it unstable with the step up and knee drive before, so that's working on the stability. This is more, can we really hit those hip flexors? Soft knee, you're going to load this hamstring a little bit just for stability anyway, but if we can put it a lot into the arms there, and then just drive up, little pause. And just working on like low end rep ranges here as well. 6 reps. We've done everything 8s and 6s so far today. Low end, so we can go heavier. And then, like I say, like we're really strong at doing these movements, then the percentage of like effort on every step on the run is going to be a lot lower and not dealing with as much force. Another big change since boosting all the Ks and everything's been the nutrition. So getting more calories in on all of those runs and like practicing training the gut has been a massive thing. Trying to get up to like that 100 grams of carbs an hour. 100 grams of carbs is going to be 400 calories. So if you think of like an hour of like easy jogging, essentially what the bib's going to be, I'm probably going to be burning like 800 calories an hour. So if I'm consuming 400 calories and I've had a big meal before, I have a big meal after, the deficit's only going to be 400 calories an hour. So say, 4,000 calories across 10 hours, say. If I can get, a big meal for brekkie, maybe 1,500 calories, maybe before bed I have a huge meal, 2,000 calories, then across the day, if everything goes perfect, I'm in a 500 calorie deficit. A kilo of body fat is 7,000 calories. So across the 8, 9, 10 days, fingers crossed a lower number, but across that amount of days, if I'm only in a 500 calorie deficit a day, I'll burn through some of my fat mass, but it's not going to be too damaging. If I lose a kilo across the week, that would be amazing. I'm expecting it not to go that well, and for me to have to dip into the fat stores a little more. But if you can keep the carbs topped up, it's way easier for the body to burn through that energy than the body having to spend energy unlocking those fat molecules and burning that as fuel versus just keeping carbs pumping through the body and then being able to use that as energy. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier.
At what point are you going to say, like, to Macka, you're going to quit, or are you just going to keep pushing him on?
Yeah. I don't know, hey. I know the mental fortitude this guy's got, so it's going to be hard to say no. But only if there's a medical emergency, really, and I can really see that that's coming to fruition, then it'd be time to call it quits. But otherwise, we'll keep pushing till the end, I think. Yep. Oh, look at this.
Oh yeah, we're going to jump into calves to finish. Any like running strength program, you want to be hitting heaps of calves. Because obviously every step you're towing off, it's a lot of pressure on like the Achilles. The soleus takes a lot of load. Gastroc takes a bit. So we usually alternate with a straight leg calf movement. That's going to be hitting more gastrocnemius, the calf that's up here. And then the other calf is activated more when the knee's bent, which is honestly a lot. You're more often landing with a bent knee anyway. But that's the soleus in there. You probably better look this way. But like that one in there that sits underneath that gastrocnemius is more with a bent knee it's engaging. And then with a straight knee, you're engaging more of this top one here. So we're going to hit some like relatively heavy calf movements. We'll keep it single legs. We do it on this setup here with a lot of stability, so we can go really heavy on the movement. So we want an elevated toe so that we can get that stretch at the bottom. We have the front foot forward and the hand here, just so we can really focus on the stability and get as much weight through the leg as possible. Controlling that stretch, we'll have like a 1 to 2 second pause at the top, and then control back down. We say 1 to 2 seconds, it's more just get a pause. You're going to end up like cheating it when it's heavy, to be honest, but just do what you can. And then we'll set up another bench here. For the second movement will be that seated calf movement. Same thing, dumbbell and just squeezing at the top for 1 to 2 seconds. We want to make sure we get that stretch at the bottom. Good way to set this up is just making sure that that dumbbell is like right on the end of the knee, so it's going straight down through the calf. You could maybe set it up way back here or something, and you're not really going to get the load. So we go really heavy on the soleus. We'll probably hit like 40 kilo dumbbells on that, and then on the standing, still pretty heavy, maybe like 30, 27, something like that. And these will stay at that low end rep range as well. The calves I do mix up, I'll do some holds, so like really heavy for holds. I'll go like moderately heavy for that 10 rep range, and then, still like, you still want to go heavy, but when we hit that higher rep range, obviously you got to drop it down. We might go 15 to 20s sometimes. You might do that with both legs as well. But at the moment, yeah, we're just hitting a lot of single leg variations on everything.
This is where I shine.
There's big cars. Oh. Obviously, yeah, we're hitting these with the dumbbells today. We're in the gym, good setting for it. But yeah, if you're just like at home and you know you need to be doing your calf work, you can just do like that single leg stuff. If you get a step, flat ground works. But if you get a step and you're just doing those single leg calf movements, it's definitely better than nothing. It's probably just go higher rep. And then for the soleus, a lunge calf raise is a really good one, where you just like get that squeeze there. Focus and like put all your body weight over that front foot. Still trying to keep that ankle nice and straight. Get that squeeze at the top and control it down. These are pretty hard either way. Like you don't need load for that. If you're good at balance and getting your body weight over it, you're going to be putting enough resistance through it. But yeah, the straight leg ones, you might just need to go higher rep or wear a backpack filled with books or something. If you're a runner, you probably like running more than you like the strength work. But think of it as a benefit and as a thing that you can add in that's going to keep you running for longer. Because if you do like running, you don't want to be getting injured and having to take a month off. So if you can just get the bare minimum strength done, body weight stuff from home will do that, and it'll keep you running for longer.
It's hard to predict, but what do you reckon's like the main things that would be obstacles in the bib track?
Well, the biggest thing I'm worried about is like day like 1, 2, 3. Because if something goes wrong on those days, you're fucking a long way to go. At least if I get through the third day, I'm like over a third of the way there. If I'm going really well, I might be even further. Can kind of like mentally muscle through the fact I'm going to have a shitty rest of the time. But if it's day 1 and I'm struggling, that's going to more mentally impact me. So keys to those good days, or like keys to the things that I'm trying to avoid, is just like making sure I take it really easy. Because if I wake up day 2 and I'm super stiff, super cooked, it's more going to be that mental side of things where I'm like, wow, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Talking about Aaron going 2 days.
Yeah. Well, Aaron's gone 2 days before me. He's doing a bit of a sleep deprivation plan. He's going to run move for like 20 hours, 21 hours a day. I'll be doing like 16 hours movement, 8 hours rest. So obviously I'll be moving faster, whereas he'll be moving like more consistently. So it'll actually be interesting to see what it works out at. Obviously, I think my way is the better way, or I wouldn't be doing it that way. I just think, maybe that, 5th, 6th, 7th day for him are going to be pretty big struggles, and I'm kind of like not hoping for his failure, but like I say, I'm thinking my way is going to be better, betting on the fact that as he gets a bit more fried, there was going to be at least a day where he has to take 8 hours, 10 hours off to sleep and really catch up, because I just feel like that's too long to go without enough sleep when you're putting your body through that much stress all the time. So, but yeah, I'm keen to see. I mean, if he does it, then awesome. But I'll have him in front of me by the 2 days and can just try and match the distance that he's doing. And if I can take those early days easier and get plenty of sleep, then he does nail it, I can take the last 3 days with no sleep as well. But I should have banked a bit more sleep in the build up to that. So.
Truly tortoise versus the hare situation, isn't it? That's cool.
That's it for today's training, basically. 7K easy jog, like 45 minutes in here. I might run tonight because I do have a bit of time, and I've been feeling really good getting that second run in of the day and just keeping it super easy, as long as I'm fueling appropriately and getting enough sleep. I'm just trying to get as many Ks in outside of that. But otherwise, if I don't do that, 9:05 on Wednesday morning right now. My next run will be about 4 p.m. tomorrow, and that's that hard session, 20K tempo effort on the treadmill. Do 4K warm up, 4K cool down, and then the 20K, if I'm doing it straight. Last week I was sitting at like 3:55 pace, about 160 heart rate or like high 150s. Tomorrow, haven't decided yet, but as long as I get 20k worth of tempo or like low end threshold work, I'm happy. It might be 4x5k or 2x10k, something like that, with like a bit of a break in between. The treadmill's real rough to just sit on for 2 hours straight, so breaking it up is a little bit mentally easier. And just being able to have those snacks like right there. Like I just usually put a bag of lollies or dried fruit and just pick at that. Every K I'm like, tick that off, cool, I get a lolly, a little treat. Makes it a bit easier. But yeah, that's it for the day. Tune in to Bib Track Diaries episode 4 will be up next. Probably do like a kit run through for that, so keen to show you. Cheers.